All right, folks, today we're doing a demonstration and install of the Givi Trekker Dolomiti hard bags on my 2016 Triumph Bonneville T120 Black. I've invited my friend Aaron to come down here and film this install so you guys get an idea of what the install looks like and how the bags fit on the bike. This bike is completely stock, other than for a few features, which are the crash bars, the lights, the short windscreen, and the bar end mirrors. Other than that, it is a completely stock 2016 Triumph Bonneville T120. So starting on the table here, we've got the Trekker Dolomiti cases themselves. These are the 30-liter bags. They're a little bit lighter and smaller than the Trekker Outbacks that are very popular with the GS touring crowd. Coming down to the left of those, we have the actual PL 6410 Givi mounts. They are bike specific for the Triumph Bonneville T120. They come with their own set of keys, all the mounting hardware, and then there's the actual hardware and instructions for the racks themselves. If we take a look at the cases, a couple things you'll notice. They do have the locks up front with the keys. It's a very, very nice, strong lock, clasps at the front. It has a rubber handle up top with a bunch of bungee tie downs so people can actually strap stuff to the top and sides. Opens up on a nice hinge that's got two safety straps on it. I like these with the safety straps that open towards the top versus the side. In my last bike, I had a pair of cases that open sideways, and it puts a lot of strain on the straps and they tend to break. Inside there is a weatherproof lining along the top, so you could call these waterproof. And inside you can see basically how big they are, all made of aluminum. Okay. All right, so this is basically how the rack is going to fit on the side of the bike. The instructions show that there'll be two bolts that bolt to the back of the seat here, an extended bolt that bolts to the top of your shock, and then an extended bolt that goes to the back of the rear footrests here. Okay, so we're going to install that real quick, and you'll see what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, so in order to remove the existing bolts, you're going to need a star point drive to remove these. Two, you're going to need a regular, I believe this is a 4mm hex bolt, and another one behind this footrest, which means we need to get this E-clip off of there to be able to pull the pin out to get the footrest out to be able to get to the bolt that we need. So we're going to go ahead and remove all those pieces. For disassembling the footrest here, you're going to want to grab this E-clip with a pair of needle nose pliers. Pull that off, and then you can just simply push the pin out. But what you'd want to be is careful at this point, because there is a spring-loaded ball bearing right there that makes for the detents when you raise and lower the foot peg. Pulling it out is not going to be a problem. It's putting it back together that you have to be careful with. So there's the little ball bearing and the spring behind it underneath that I was mentioning. And now when you go to reassemble the foot peg, make sure the ball bearing is in the little divot where the spring is. Take the little clip that acts as the detents for the spring, and you want to push this into that little socket like you see right there, and then you need to kind of compress it just a little bit. I'm pushing down with both my thumbs here so that it will go into the slot without the ball bearing popping out. If you get it right, you'll see the top of the ball bearing in that top center detent. Then you can go ahead and put your peg in. Make sure it goes all the way through, obviously. And then take your pliers and replace your E-clip. And the last little piece before we actually go to place the cases on the mounts is we need to place a small bit of adapter that is case specific for these particular Dolomiti cases. So we're going to go ahead and place those on here with these 2 bolts. Okay, so we've got one case mounted on the other side, just to show you how this thing gets mounted. You do need to unlock it to gain access to the interior, because we do need access to these 2 spring-loaded pins, which will actually fasten the top of the case. So, as we discovered on the other side, the pins are pretty stiff the first time you put them on. So I'm going to grab a little screwdriver to help me turn them. We go ahead and take the case, rest them on the 2 bottom pegs on the mount, like so. Line up the pins horizontally, push them in, and then turn them 90 degrees till they click like that. And it looks like this side is not going to need the screwdriver. There we go. And we are finished. Go ahead and close the case. Lock it, and remove the key.